Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Just want to start out by really thanking everyone for your support in our first day, whether it's your financial support, some people have offered equipment, which is awesome, or just a kind word or some advice. You know, I'm always looking to improve. This is really a group effort to kind of create this resource as effectively as we can over the next few weeks. Just a quick reminder one more time to like and subscribe here on the YouTube so you can get the updates that we're hopefully doing daily going forward. And also to check out our Instagram, our Facebook page, all those spots to get kind of the maximum content. Thank you so much to the donation who recommended this video. We'll be breaking down Bosnyan versus Terminus from the Oktoberfest in 2019 in October, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's get to it. So as I said, we're going to be looking at the October match between Bosnyan and Terminus. This is a match that Terminus won and went on to win Oktoberfest, securing a Nationals bid. It was kind of a big surprise to, I think, a lot of the country. I'm excited to watch this game for a few reasons. The first of which is that I haven't really followed the club game that closely this season. I think everyone knows I've kind of been closely following the college game, and I'm really interested in a team like Terminus, who's kind of risen into the ranks of the top teams. They've been top 10 all year now. They've scored some really nice wins. So I'm interested to see really what their play style looks like, what their strengths are, where they can still gain. And then on the Bosnyan side, I mean, it's a collection of people that are very geographically scattered. To be honest, so is Terminus to some degree. So I want to see kind of how their cohesion looks, especially in an early season game like this. I'm probably going to have to stop and go back more times than I was in my last videos, and that's just because it's being shot at, honestly, based on where this ref's standing, below, head height, which is just not the ideal way to shoot Quidditch. If you're looking to shoot your own Quidditch to maximize your ability to analyze games, try to get as high as angle as you can, whatever you can do to do that. Tripod, on a chair, anything. It's a lot harder to check from this. And also because the pace of the modern club game is very high, and that's going to require me to go back and forth some. So let's get into it. So brooms up run, pretty basic there. Jacob Parker's able to get the ball, a nice little pick along the way. It looks like Terminus got bludger control as well. All around good play by Terminus, 1-0. And we'll see how Bosnyan goes to attack this. All right. So it looks like Terminus is playing some kind of a zone here, because you can see that we have a chaser here who's just playing defending space. A chaser here is defending space. Good idea to go out to the wing here. And we see how they adjust. And that wing pass, it looks like, has isolated one of the two Terminus beaters, right? So out here on the wing, no help here. This is a good chance to make a play from bludger control. And it looks like the beat, which was not the strongest beat, got blocked. And we'll see how Terminus can press here. A good wrap. And then perfect beater play, one going to the ball, one going to the first passing option. Easy enough fast break for Terminus, and a goal. So 2-0. So the only thing I didn't like about that play is the way the Bosnyan beaters engaged on an out-of-position beater. It was kind of a weak throw. It wasn't really a threatening throw, easily blocked. The whole play blew up from there. I don't think the chasers really could have done anything different. I love the throw of the wing. I like that moved the beaters. That gave the beaters a chance to attack. They just didn't take it to the best way. So now let's see what Bosnyan can do in second possession. Just going to bring it down the left side now. And we see again, yeah, definitely a zone. I don't know if it's a full zone. It kind of looks like the defense boom train was playing a lot last season in a very drive-heavy meta, where you basically have all of your help defenders ready to go if needed, so that you just can't be beat by drives. And the way to beat that is usually making that drive and then having these wing diagonal cuts, and we'll see if Bosnyan tries to use any of that going forward. And there's a lot of open passing options here, and a lot of check down, maybe even going to the wing. I don't love that option. I think that pass is a little flat, but they are able to recover it. That's going to be a good goal. So play breaks down for Terminus when all is said and done, but I think the original pass, as I said, was a little flat. I think it was really easy for a defender to cover up. We'll see it right here one more time. even if she gets this cleanly, we have two defenders who are ready to check down on her. And you see the more dangerous, this cut that was back there, even going back here, I think would have been more dangerous. And then we see how the play recovers. And I think this is very interesting. Kind of a lesson in the right ways to make a cut here from the chaser. He could just check up to this back hoop. I think a lot of people would. And that pass could get there, but it gives this chaser a chance to cut in front to make the play. And so he's going to wheel around, and by coming towards the pass, it's going to make it impossible for her to ever get in front of him and give him the easy goal. So come to your passes with your cuts is always a good thing when you're going to be contested for a catch. So 2-1 now. We have a fast break situation, no bludgers. And it just fizzles, and I really don't like this play from Terminus. So let's go back to the beginning of that fast break. So no bludger here. So we want to figure out two things. A, why is the keeper being forced to run through an elite point defender in the sport, and Brian Mulcahy, who makes that tackle and eventually forces the turnover? And B, what are these two beaters doing with this bludger control that isn't more effective in this moment? So this is bad. This is just bad communication from the team. These beaters need to be going with the team. And then, I mean, passing options are there. Maybe a screen here would be helpful. But she just kind of runs vertically with him, and that's never going to be a passing option. There's no point where he can throw that past her. She needs to either set a screen or go out wide. Either way, it's a wasted opportunity from Terminus, because that should have been a very free goal if it was executed correctly. Still haven't given up bludger control, though. Dominant first shift from the Terminus beaters. That play breaks down. It's again going to be a press. I don't mind that from Trudeau. I think what happens here is it's this initial interaction. So a beat is made at point. And then to keep bludger control, so this is an illegal interaction that just doesn't get called. So that's how Terminus is able to blow out this play. So with this fist up, he can't throw a beat at him while he's going to pick up his third bludger in order to recover the third bludger. And that's how they're able to force the press. Just doesn't get called. And at that point, I'm fine with Trudeau throwing the ball away here. If he just got beat, or if he tried to throw it short and then that player got beat, it's just going to be another fast break going the other way. First shifts from Terminus in terms of subbing. I think maybe the first half-court play we're seeing from Terminus, which I'm fine with. I prefer fast breaking anytime you get the chance. All right, so it looks like we're only bringing one beater up. I don't love that. I don't see the value in keeping a beater back. That's just a wasted utility there. So Paguada's going to 1.5. He gets beat. Easy goal. So this is not how I like my beaters to defend a 1.5, right? So let's see. It's going to be a little hard to see because he's right in the way. Let me see if I can slow it down for a second. All right. So basically, this is the proper formation for these two beaters, right? But what I want to see here, especially if they're this close, Paguada cannot charge Smacher here, right? She does not have possession of a ball. So her job is to corral him either to the left or to the right, almost like, you know, a bull matador. Collier's job here is to step up the opposite way so that now Paguada's behind him and he can still defend the play. Meanwhile, I mean, it also breaks down at the point defending position. So regardless, it's going to be a tough play for them to defend. But once they lose this bludger, especially with Collier throwing it hard, as I think he's about to. Yeah. So she does kind of wrangle him one way, but at the same time, Collier's making the beat. I'd rather see him just step up around here. All right. And then we'll get back to full speed. Good shot. I like the step by Trudeau, forcing the shot, and it was made. But you can't just wait at the hoops and get dunked on. It's the right play every time. 3-1 now, Terminus. And it's really been about the bludger dominance all game so far. We get our first sub for Bosny in the Eden Beater game, at least. Now, I want to see this ball getting down here more quickly. This tap beat's not doing anything. The whole defense is collected. You got 2 players out here. Get the ball out there. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful ball movement. And that's kind of what we were talking about, I think, in the last video about attacking these zones. It's all about getting into these wide spaces because once you're on the wing rather than top, the zone gets very condensed and it leaves so much space on the weak side. And good recognition, an excellent cut. Assume that goal was good. Yeah, so 3-2 now for Terminus. Could be a break. Go out of there. Good, clean tackles to stop a fast break opportunity. Bosnian's going to get the ball out of that. So a lot's happening on this play. It's just kind of a scramble drill at this point that somehow ended in another Justin Cole goal, which just seems to be the theme of Bosnia's game so far. So let's take it back here. See what we can learn. All right. So we've got Terminus playing flat. We get a good beat by Paguada there. And I think, now maybe Davis here doesn't know the bludger situation, but there's no reason to get cute here, right? Like, what beater is most likely to get to you at this point? It's going to be your own beaters. You're in your own zone. Just don't try to force too hard. You're very safe back here. And Cole's able to strip him. Okay, he tries something a little aggressive. Regardless, I mean, this is just going to be a long scramble with no beaters anywhere for a while. And a goal. Simple enough. You know, with how long Terminus took to finally get this third bludger, for all I know, maybe he was going to get beat by a beater first, but we don't have that angle to be able to see that. Exchange of beats. And again, it's this attempt to go through the best point defender on the team. This is not creative offense from Terminus, right? I mean, they do a pick and roll here. I don't like this pick and roll, so here's why I don't like it. Now, this is not basketball, right? So he's setting this screen right here, right? They still have the ability to move right and left. You can set a quote-unquote moving screen. You just can't charge. So he should be cutting off any angle. Honestly, I even probably get a hand up in here. I don't keep my hands down like that. It never gets called. I know. I'm a ref. I shouldn't say that. But regardless, okay, shouldn't be able to work through this. Good help defense. But there has to be a second option, right? We've got a player basically posting up on the hoops that doesn't seem to be a real option because there's enough height covering him. And we had a player behind the play. Neither of those are really good options. We get a fast break going the other way. Free, camped out goal there. This has really been a swing. It's all about bludger control, right? It was all Terminus with their original beater lines, and it's been all Bosny since. But I think it's also been about Bosny being able to find offense even against bludger control, whereas Terminus has really struggled in the half court to put together coherent offense. This is very, what I tell my team is I don't like things this flat anymore. This is very cav ball-ish, and I feel like a lot of defenses have kind of evolved at this point to make that not quite as effective. So CJ Jr. is now in this game using kind of the Mario Nasta technique, as it were. And we're going to see how Terminus attacks this for the first time. Now, I think there's a correct way to attack this. One thing you can do is never attack it, right? You can pump and pump and pump because Junior has already given up all of his mobility by getting into this crouch. He's only there to block your beat attempt. and keep bludger control in the process. And that's a completely worthy tactic, especially when you have a talented beater next to you who can still do things. If you want to make this beat, first of all, you have to be close to him. And second of all, the best thing you can do is use your beater that doesn't have the ball to start wrapping him. Wrap an arm. Make it anything that makes it harder for him to block, because he is practiced at making this block from this position. So we'll see what happens. That's not the thing to do. Three beats from too far away, none of them worked out. Oof. And how does a player end up open at the end of this play? So help defense is fine here. And Trudeau should have this covered. I think Trudeau was thinking they were already on the fast break. It seems like the beaters might have even thought they were on the fast break. And nobody realized that Parker, with his strength, had kind of gotten out of it. So free goal for Terminus. Bad communication from Bosny. We'll see if they try to fast break anyway. But I think they lost bludger control in that whole scuffle. Yeah. Be a stoppage. Looks like a stoppage into a timeout. All right. Get back to it. I think the game's probably 4-4 right now. So it did end up being Bosnia got bludger control. I think that must have been the call on the field. And again here, you have this weak side pass that Trudeau's just either not seeing or choosing to not use. But there's a lot of space in that cut. I don't like how narrow Cole's staying here, or the fact that he just accepted that tackle from point. That's a no bludger situation, though, from a trip. That's going to be a goal from Trudeau. Pretty classic. That's just a broken down play from the trip by the beater. Not much to say there. Once that trip happened, it was a no bludger situation. And you expect a player like Trudeau, especially with the talent around him, to execute on it. All right, so let's see if they attack this Mario Nasta type setup differently this time. They go after Dillman instead, and she makes a smart play for control. And then again, it's a tooth long of a throw on CJ Jr. And let's see what happened on in the Quaffle game. Oh, a nice goal. So this is a cut that came from the wing, so we're going to be following him here. I don't think we're going to see how it happened. That's just bad defense, though. That player should not be able to get inside of you on that cut. But, hey, that's more dynamic offense from Terminus, right? That's what we've been looking to see. As a no bludger fast break here. It's a long, low. So on the fast break, you're looking for high percentage plays, essentially against no bludgers, right? There's no reason to be just giving up your quaffle turnover because you could always pull it out and just still have the ball. That's a low percentage pass, bounce off the hands, ends up being a turnover. I do like them running there, but once you kind of bounce off that first point defender and you're flat-footed, you don't need to uncork a pass halfway across the field by any means. There's always the option to pull out of it. You should always look to fast break. You don't always have to fast break. Kind of the same problem, right? Again, thrown at Junior, and this time it's going to end up with a play being blown up. Yeah. And it's going to be no bludgers again, I think, from that exchange. No, the bludger did get back. I like that ball movement. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's going to be a turnover. Yeah, it'll get called. Good call there from Amidal. But yeah, good ball movement. Good attempt, just missed shot. It doesn't work every time, and that doesn't mean you don't go back to it. A little high from the point defender here. It's going to be a pretty free beat. It's going to force an exchange. I don't really like that shot. Let's see what we're looking at here. So we've got... Let's show one more time. So let's say the keeper zone's probably right around here. So we're probably looking at about a 15-yard shot without your beaters getting to make a play for bludger control, and the keeper's not particularly out of position, and there's an extra defender here. I don't see how that's the odds of that being a beneficial possession for you are. Looks like we get a stoppage. That's not to say that long shots are never useful, right? I mean, if they weren't useful, Jake Archibald wouldn't be a top-tier player. But they're useful when you have to take them. They're useful when when you've been kind of on, when you really have a lot of confidence in your shot at that moment. And that one just kind of seemed like a wasted possession. In a close game, you don't want to be wasting possessions. Get an exchange, force no bludger. And good crushing defense. It's going to end up being Terminus ball when all's said and done. So this is why you run the boom trim style defense, right? Because watch what happens once this no bludger happens. Ashkar wants to drive the entire way, and everybody is ready to help. 1, 2, 3, you could argue 4, I can't tell if that's a beater, are all ready to make their hits. This is when the ball has to come out against this defense. You have to hit one of these cuts. And maybe this cut could have been a bit more dynamic instead of more of a fade back. Regardless, you can't get this far in. If you make your whole drive and you get pushed through the zone without ever being able to take a shot, then you probably made the wrong decision. And after that, it was just a clean-up play by Terminus. Still a bludger control on the side of Bosny. To the wing. I like plays to the wing. So Dillman gets isolated out of this play over here, but it looks like he's not choosing to engage. Yeah, he's just going to walk it back. And I guess at some point you have to see the turnover coming, but I think it was early enough in the play. Let's see. So he isolates right here. This play is not over. I think you have to take this opportunity. You have a beater who's completely out of position. And maybe it was just the fact that he slipped and wanted to be safe about it. But regardless, it's a missed opportunity. When you haven't had bludger control for almost 5 minutes in this game, you need to take those opportunities. I like the attempt to push the fast break. That's fine. Pull it back when it's not there. That's exactly what I want to see. That's what we weren't seeing from this team previously. And a good pass. Nice play all around. Let's see what breaks down here. And I think it's... And this is how you beat the help defense. The second the help comes, that's when you have to uncork the pass. Not back here. You have to uncork it right up here. And wide open player, only open because of that help defense. Easy goal. Much better there attacking it that time from Bosny. First time we've seen him sub back in, he was very effective in his first shift, and he instantly gets bludger control back. So there you go. I saw hands go up. I can't tell if there was a goal there or not. Let's see. So this play is lost right here, because I believe this is the player who scores, which means he gets inside of his defender at some point, which you can't allow to happen. What I'm doing here is if I think I'm beat, I'm putting a hand on this person, getting a grab. Anything that keeps you from getting beat off of this. Because it's just a perfectly thrown jump ball. I feel like he got beat before. I don't know if they talk about this. And I'm not going to bring up the audio to see, but it looked like he got beat before. Still, I like the movement. Terminus instantly has bludger control again. We'll see if they can use it or keep it, possibly more importantly. Oof, great close down. This is something you don't... This is a read, right? This pass goes around back, so he's here. Those two shifts, and the second the ball leaves, he's ready to be in a sprint. Not many beaters make this beat before that ball gets there. It's a really clean turnover. I don't mind the tempo. I don't like that pass, obviously. That's something we've seen a couple times in this game from both teams, kind of getting out of control in the fast break instead of pulling it back. Once he was on that wing, if the pass wasn't there, all he had to do was walk it back up to top. Good movement to the deep wing. I think the flat pass was there. They're going to take the safer option, which is fine. I like this movement. This help defense style cannot keep up to this movement. Yeah. It was a good block in the end, but I mean, you could see just everybody's open and the entire defense having to shift over and over and over again. Bosnia's definitely missed some shots they could have made. Like I said, that doesn't make the offense bad. Better defense of that one bludger this time from Bosnia. They do eventually lose a point defender. And I don't like that jump ball pass, essentially, against a tall defender. I think it's going to work out here. Missed shot. Missed shot. So yeah, it worked out, but seemed pretty forced. What you want to do here is the ball carrier, right? So, sorry, let me go back a little further. Your point defenders stepped up. Nobody stepped up from Bosnia, right? So you don't want to float a pass into where all of them are, including the player who just checked back there. You want to push the issue to some degree. Regardless, missed shot. It's going to be eventually Bosnian ball. Yep. And there's more of that good ball movement we saw from the last possession. Goes to the wing. They all have to step to that. Goes to the back. They can't all step to that fast enough. It's a goal. And that's the weakness of the Boom Train offense. If you're not trying to be a drive and score team, the Boom Train defense really breaks down a lot of ways. Like the high press with bludger control there from Bosnia forces the issue. Yeah, missed beat. Good press. Opposite sides of the ball. Clean it up. We'll see if they look to break off of it because they should be. Even with that throwback, they should be going. Yep. And the options are definitely there. Looks like it eventually went through. Yeah. Oof. And then that was... Okay, so we've talked about Terminus getting out of control sometimes on their fast breaks. This one... Oh. So he gets beat. He goes for the run and never even sees the beat coming from across the field. Yeah, I don't know at what point they would have thought there were no bludgers around, considering that they had just played an offensive set into no bludger. Terminus just thrown too many possessions away in fast breaks, I think. Which doesn't mean they shouldn't fast break. It just means they need to be a little more cautious about them. Help defense comes. We need the pass. And we don't get it there, and that's why that possession falls apart. And we get a timeout. So I think we're getting pretty close to snitch on pitch, judging by the time left in this video. And I assume we're about at a level game. So teams should be really looking to prioritize bludger control, right? You should, if this game is actually even or you're up one, a bludger control is more valuable than the goal for what that's going to mean for these seekers right out the gates. It's a strong finish there from Heldreth. I think they're going to come away with bludger control too. Let's see how the bludger exchange happened. Seemed like everything was loose. And Term was able to clean up faster. Yeah. So let's see if Terminus thinks the same thing here and tries to prioritize bludger control. A little bit forced there. I don't think the beaters even got involved in that play. Let's see where they were. Yeah, the pass went back. A beater stepped out. The other beater hugged the hoops. Terminus is being smart with the bludgers here. I think this would be a nice time for 1.5, right? Just something that literally can't possibly put you at risk of losing your bludger control. Interesting. Good defense to clean that up at the end. The bludger play, kind of a weird idea. I like the idea of positioning Dillman behind here. Cleans up any pass attacks. But once you throw it to her, if you've already been beat, she's now behind the entire offensive play. This isn't doing anything for anybody. Just good defense there from Giminiak on Parker. High press there, gets them a goal, and doesn't end up costing them bludger control. It's good all around from Terminus. Really controlled the last 2 or 3 minutes of action, again through their beater game. It snitches out. Now again, this needs to be Bosnia. Their quaffle game needs to be focusing on giving their beater game a chance for bludger control. That's the #1 factor here. Oh, instead they just throw the ball away. Gets cleaned up when all is said and done. But it's not going to mean bludger control by any means. So I think Bosnia's running out of time at this point to make a play for bludger control. They've at least, though, they are positioned to have the advantage on the Seekers getting released, right? Bird, though, is going to get the inside track, I think, here to make that beat. Whew. A bad miss there from Gian. And that's going to be... That's the game right off of that. Okay, so let's go back. Let's break that down. Let's slow it down. So off broom's up. Bento's beat. With your only bludger, you can't make this beat when the Seeker's running right here. Seeker has to come first. I mean, this Kyle John, we were literally watching him in the last video kind of create that bubble that allowed Greenhouse to catch to win against Lone Star. He is a catch first beater who's making probably a 15-foot beat attempt with the Seeker coming in behind him, and he doesn't have bludger control. The Seeker was already engaged with the Snitch. I mean, that's a game-losing play right there. It's that simple. And it's almost kind of fitting that Davis catches maybe 5 seconds later. All right. So that's going to do it. So what did we learn about these teams? Terminus, I'm really impressed by their athleticism, especially in the beater game. I think a couple of their sets are very, very dangerous and are going to be really hard to contend with for a lot of teams. And I think that's kind of where a lot of their strength comes from. Their weakness, I would say, is kind of organized offense, both in the fast break and in the half court, right? In the fast break, they struggle to sometimes pick the right time to pull out of a fast break. In the half court, I didn't see that many interesting options. I saw too many attempts to run through a point defender. You're not running through court defenders against Cavalry or against Rev or, I mean, even against Bosnia. And then just not enough things happening off ball. You know, maybe more pick and rolls, maybe more cuts. We saw that one great cut off the wing that did result in a goal. So that's what I want to see from them. From Bosnia, I liked a lot of the concepts I was seeing in the half court. A couple of their beater pairs really seemed to struggle, and they didn't have bludger control for large periods of time. They also were a little disorganized defensively sometimes, even with bludger control. I mean, we saw that period where they were holding bludger control for probably 5 or 6 minutes, and Terminus was still able to get some goals out of kind of broken down plays. So definitely things for both teams to work on. It's going to do it for this video. Again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Join us on Facebook and Instagram as well. And take care.